Just speak loud. Yeah. And then say hi. Welcome everybody. Like welcome everybody. Okay. Perfect. So it's on right now. Let's start the webinar. There we go. I think just you can start. Go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar. My name is Devin.
And I'm Penny. And today, this is the fourth webinar of the day. And we have Dawn Bazely with us. Dawn Bazely is a biology professor in York University's Facility of Science. She received the title of University Professor in 2017. Dawn has worn many academic hats since joining York in 1990. She directed the university-wide Institute for Research and Sustainability through 2006 to 2014. Dawn has diversified her areas of research expertise beyond her grass biologist beginnings. Her doctorate from Oxford University applied economic models to sheep grazing behavior. Dawn has received many teaching awards. In 2022, she received the Royal Canadian Institute for Science Sanford Fleming Medal. She will be the 2024-2025 Fulbright Canada Distinguished Visiting Professor to Yale University. She is the 2024-2025 Fulbright Canada Distinguished Professor and the Canadian Bicentennial Visiting Professor at Yale. So you can take it away, Dawn.
Thank you very much to Penny and Devon, and hello to everybody who is here. So my name is Dawn Bazely. I am on sabbatical in New Haven, in the state of Connecticut, in the United States. And can I just say, I do want to see your beautiful National Biodiversity Teach-In banner. I can't see it. Penny, oh, there it is. There it is. I love it. And I've got in my study here, that is a poster with different cacti in it, because I am a plant ecologist and a botanist, but I'm not going to talk to you about that today. Because I'm doing something completely different. So I'm on sabbatical every 7 years. Professors like me, I've been a professor since 1990, which is 35 years. That's quite a long time, isn't it? And every 7 years, we get to have a year in which we are not weighed down with our paperwork, filling in forms, teaching undergraduates, reporting grades, all that stuff takes a lot of time. We get to go around the world and visit with researchers and professors in different places all over. So the last sabbatical I was on in 2017 to 18, I was in India and Australia. And I was also in Germany at the United Nations climate change talks. And before that, 2011 to 2012, I spent 6 months, exactly 2 hours drive due north. Actually, north is that way, of where I'm standing right now. I'm just off the campus of Yale University, and I am on sabbatical this year as the Fulbright Canada Distinguished Professor. Has anyone watched Bridgerton? Do we know Bridgerton? Yeah. So you know how in Bridgerton they have all these aristocrats and they all have titles. So like a Bridgertonian aristocrat, I have another title as well. I am the Canadian Bicentennial Visiting Professor at Yale. And this is a question to all the students online. You can answer this in the chat. Whose bicentennial do you think the title is talking about? Is it Canada's bicentennial? Or is it another country's bicentennial? I'm going to give you a hint. The federal government of Canada actually created this, this title It took them a while to get it going because I had to do a lot of forms. In 1976, what country had it? What is a bicentennial, first of all? Bicentenary. A centennial is how many years? Maybe my hosts can help me out here. A centenary. Anyone know?
100.
100. Good job. So bicentennial is going to be how many years? Bi is 200. Okay, that was, I don't know what's going on here. It's this whole thing. You got balloons. Good for you. So if this professorship was created in 1976, and it was for the bicentennial visiting professor from Canada to America, something happened. What happened in 1776, people? I'm sitting in America. What happened is, go ahead, Devon and Penny. Oh, you're on mute. You got to, oh, somebody's answered. Somebody has answered. Sign the Declaration of Independence. I think that came later. But what happened first, Celine? What happened first? 1776.
When the war started?
Against who? Whose war?
And then we separated from Britain.
Yeah, we call it the American Revolution. So you guys need to know that. Okay, who's seen Hamilton? You know, Hamilton, the musical. That's what it's about, right? So the Canadian government in 1976 gives Yale University some money to create a Canadian visiting professorship. And then later on, Fulbright Canada. Fulbright is a US government program. It gives out 8,000 awards and scholarships a year. It's the biggest international mobility education program in the world. Mostly those scholarships go to university students and young researchers in their 30s, but a small number of them fund people with gray hair like me, old people like me, to be these professors. So that's what I'm doing here. And while I'm here in Yale, I am working a lot on Arctic ecotourism and how we can use tourism as a way of educating people about the Arctic and about biodiversity and about climate change and about Inuit people and culture. But I'm also teaching a course which is an environmental studies course called Canada's Approach to Global Environmental Wicked Problems. A wicked problem is a problem that may not have an easy solution. Could be global warming, could be eradicating world poverty. There's a lot of wicked problems that look difficult. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to say answered. Anyway, this is going to be an interactive talk. So that's what I'm doing here. So instead of coming to you from Toronto, Canada, I'm sitting in New Haven. I'm not in my office on the Yale campus, but I'm very close by to it. Today I am not going to be talking about the kind of things that I've talked about in the past for the National Biodiversity Teach-In. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, right. I'm just going to leave that. Do type in any questions that you have. I'm going to share a page. This is, if you go to YouTube, you will find all of the past, or not all of them, but many of the past talks I've given on everything Arctic plants, Arctic plants, Arctic plants, Arctic plants, plant defenses. Look, there's a bunch of cactus, and I've got cactus on the wall behind me. Anyway, there's a lot of, you can go watch those. They're quite super fun. And the alumni of the National Biodiversity Teach-In high school teams are there, which is super fun to work with young people. So I think that some of your predecessors who are with me, Penny and Devon, must now be in their late 20s. They finished with university. It'd be so cool to find out what they're up to today. Okay, so what am I going to talk about today? Well, this is what I'm going to talk about today. Let me show you another shared screen. This is the Washington Post, the cover. It says, this article was published more than 6 years ago. And the woman you can see with the glasses, her name is Donna Strickland. She's a physics professor in Waterloo University in Ontario, about an hour and a half southwest of Toronto. And she was awarded on October the 2nd of 2018, the Nobel Prize in Physics. So she's a science professor, she's a physicist, she's a woman, and she's got the Nobel Prize in Physics. And she did not have a Wikipedia page. That sounds a little surprising, eh? Wikipedia is something you should all be reading as a first cut, but you should not be citing it because it is what we call a third level information source that relies on first and second level sources. It is like a textbook. When you get to university, we don't allow you to cite encyclopedias, whether they're in a book form or a textbook. We want you to cite primary and secondary direct sources. But it doesn't mean don't read textbooks and do not read encyclopedias, especially with the difficulty of accessing reliable open access information that has been checked and has rules and regulations for how it is written, which Wikipedia does have that. So I continue to teach undergraduate students. I'm running in my course at Yale in environmental studies this semester right now. The students are learning to edit Wikipedia pages about environmental topics in Canada, like global warming, like acid rain, as it pertains to Canada and the United Nations. And like my students, many of those students have been told by their high school teachers not to read Wikipedia. I actually give an assignment to my students, the final exam question, which is, now that you've learned how to edit Wikipedia and what the rules and regulations are, what would you go back and what talk would you give if you are invited to be a speaker at your high school and you're going to educate the students and the teachers about why you should read Wikipedia and learn to edit it, not least because it's open access and it is not hidden behind a paywall where you have to pay a lot of money to get to it, like university libraries. You can, if you're at the university, you have access to journals, science journals, other sources of information that otherwise you have to pay for. Wikipedia gives you that open access. Anyway, so the students get to write a speech that they would give if they go back to their high school educating people about Wikipedia. And it is one of the most popular final exam questions. And I've read some rip-roaring great speeches that who knows, maybe one day I'll get them all to give me permission to publish them. And then they're just like I said, tell your high school teachers what you want to tell them. They just love that. Anyway, it's very, very funny. So what we're going to do today is we are going to look at why we should edit Wikipedia and how I've learned to edit it. So go back to the beginning of this presentation. Okay, so this is actually a talk. You can see the city. So I'm in New Haven. I'm about a 9-hour drive, short flight, 12 hours on Amtrak. If I go on the train, I got to get to New York City, just southwest of here, and I'll take a train from New York City, Penn Station, crossing the Niagara River. I'll be in Toronto by evening. The train is not going that fast, but it's very low carbon footprint and it's a great way to travel. I love doing the train. So this is an aerial view of downtown Toronto. We can see the CN Tower. We can see the Toronto Islands. And York University is not on this map, but the University of Toronto is somewhere there in the middle with all those skyscrapers. York is just to the top right. It's on the it's a kind of a suburban city on the edge, university on the edge of the city. So I'm going to talk to you about what happens when students learn to contribute to Wikipedia pages. And it's something that everyone can do locally and everyone can get trained to do. It's very easy to learn the rules and regulations because Wikipedia, which is a charitable foundation, non-profit, has wonderful training modules. So unlike when I started teaching students to edit Wikipedia, we had to do all the teaching ourselves. It was quite difficult. It actually has a global reach, and we were actually asked to give this presentation at the Wiki Conference North America back in 2021 to showcase classroom activities. So what you can see here is a tweet from 2016. I really don't go on social media much because social media is so controlled by algorithms. People are getting fed misinformation, disinformation, propaganda. It becomes digital literacy and media literacy. Understanding where your facts come from is crucial when it comes to for everybody. And most people have no idea how to verify a fact. And actually, Wikipedia does require you to verify your sources of information. And it has a very strong policy of maintaining a neutral, objective viewpoint. So it's a great place to start out for learning about a topic. So we actually, in 2016, we had a Wikipedia edit-a-thon for Ada Lovelace Day. Who is that woman with the long black hair? Her name is Countess Ada Lovelace. She is credited. Her father was the poet Lord Byron in England, and she was a very wealthy aristocrat. She would have fitted right in with Bridgerton, the TV series, because she would have been in the room. And she is credited with being the mother of computer programming. Literally, she came up with the whole idea of algorithms and computer programming. So there is a day which isn't formally observed anymore because it was formally observed with funding in Britain for a long time. Now it's not formally observed, but people just do it anyway. It is actually in early October every year, and a popular activity is to make Wikipedia pages for underrepresented groups in everything from science to art, because so many people who did important things in history, like right now, it's Black History Month. And there's such a lack of representation and awareness of the contributions of members of the Black community in Canada, all around the world. And so a Wikipedia edit-a-thon for Black History Month is a very popular activity to give people who deserve pages, right? They should be in an encyclopedia. So we're wearing these t-shirts which have got the photographs of headshots of women scientists, from Marie Curie to Valentina Tereshkova to a whole bunch of other, Rosalind Franklin. It was a great fundraiser. I think we have other questions. Can you help me out? Are people asking questions? You have to unmute yourself, Penny. You're still on mute.
We have one question from Izzy. It says, is there someone monitoring these Wikipedia pages ensuring there isn't any misinformation?
Everybody. The answer to that question is everybody. A Wikipedia page, I'll show you the back end, is edited by anybody and everybody. So if people put information, okay, every fact, everything has to have a verifiable source. And a verifiable source is not Uncle John's tweets in the basement. Has to be published. Third party, legitimate sources of information, or Aunt Betty's blog. Like, who am I going to trust for a jam recipe? Aunt Betty's blog or the extension service of the University of the Utah State University, the land grant university, which actually has got funding to educate people about food and agriculture. I'm gonna trust the land grant university's extension pages, not Aunt Betty's jam recipe. I myself am a huge canner. I preserve many things, and I'm a really good canner. I'm going to say I am very good, but I have a library of books about safe canning and preserving from France and England and America and Canada. And I've even met some of the authors of these books who test the recipes. So Wikipedia does require that to be a thing. Okay, so what have I done over the years? So we started in 2013 and we had heard about Wikipedia editathons, which are day-long events where people were getting together at different universities all over the world for Ada Lovelace Day and creating pages for people who met the criteria but did not have a Wikipedia page. Okay, so like Donna Strickland had in fact met the criteria, but somebody had deleted her Wikipedia page instead of fixing it to give the information. We'll talk about bias in a minute. So in 2013, I had coffee with my friendly local science librarian. We were just chit-chatting, having a cup of tea, possibly a beer. I can't remember. And we said, hey, did you hear about this Ada Lovelace Day stuff? Oh, it's like really good. It's about women in science who are underrepresented. This could be a really good thing for us to do. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he says, do you know how to edit Wikipedia? I'm like, I have no idea. He goes, I don't really know either. So we have to learn. So what we decided to do was introduce a assignment in my biology courses, which are third and fourth year biology undergraduate courses. And we worked with students, and that's how we learned to edit Wikipedia, was by working alongside students. I'll show you some photos. And then by 2015, we have our first York University Ada Lovelace Day Wikipedia editathon. Some people show up and we're all doing it together. We do that every year. By 2018, I'm on sabbatical in India. I'm writing op-eds for the Washington Post because now I've been on social media. I've talked about this. I've blogged about it. And then by 2019, we start going to conferences, digital pedagogy, and we start meeting members of the GLAM wiki community. So a wiki is a community edit. It's everybody does it, participates. It's very democratic. And GLAM stands for galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. And these are the people that put pictures of things like the Mona Lisa on Wikipedia as open access images that anybody can use legitimately without violating copyright. So Wikipedia is very concerned about intellectual property and copyright and bringing high quality information under something either putting it in the public domain for anyone to use, or doing certain kind of copyright licenses that allow everybody to use it. Because if you take a screen cap of something on the internet from the Google search image page, you're probably violating somebody's copyright. You shouldn't do that, okay? So learning to edit Wikipedia teaches students about reliable sources of information and what you can and cannot quote and cite. It's very rigorous training. And then by 2020, I'm now working with the Wikipedia Foundation. I'm a mentor to professors that want to do this. And I'm teaching it, like I'm doing things at Yale. We had a York to Yale event. Okay. So here is the page for Professor Judith H. Myers. I wrote a book with her, and some students created the text for her Wikipedia pages. I had to put it up because those students went and I just had their stuff. Here's some students in that first year. The young woman on the left who would now be in, I'm going to say, mid to late 30s. Probably a doctor, I don't know, lose touch with students, but she's fantastic. She researched the Wikipedia page for Mary Power, who is a biology professor, now retired at Berkeley in California, who did not have a Wikipedia page, but was like the president of the Ecological Society of America. Like, she's a really big deal. So there's a lot of bias in Wikipedia in that there's more pages for men than there are for women who meet the criteria for having a Wikipedia page. So women scientists and people of color are very underrepresented. So there was a huge push to get the representation more equal. And you can see the students in the class, they're in the basement of the library editing. That was our first year. Yeah, that was interesting. Later on, we did, that was an assignment. Later on, we did Wikipedia editathons. You can see on the left a librarian, Bill Denton. He would come along. Librarians love this kind of thing. There's John wearing his Women Are All Over It page. And bottom right is the founding dean of science at Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly called Ryerson. We had her be a speaker about EDI, equity, diversity, inclusion policies, Imogen Co. And it was about STEMinism, how STEM is for everybody to do science. It was a pretty cool talk. Yep, she's standing by the thing. And then once you do a Wikipedia editathon for science, you can do it for anything. You can do a Wikipedia editathon for elephants. I don't know. You can do a Wikipedia editathon for Black History Month, and that's happened. You can do a Wikipedia editathon for Lunar New Year. You could do a Wikipedia editathon for marine animals. You just like, it's just a way to do a theme activity. Everyone learns to edit. Now, you do have to have some training. I'm going to show you the back end of the training. Okay, we've got a bunch of questions. I'm nearly at the end of these and we can jump to questions. So I actually did organize a Wikipedia editathon for women scientists in India here I am in Shantiniketan, West Bengal. Funny story. This is very rural university. 4 hours northwest of Kolkata. And what happened was that the day we scheduled this, somebody damaged the cable, the main internet cable between the university campus and Calcutta, and the internet went down. And then we had to like totally turn to data on cell phones. Okay, do you want to read me the questions?
Yeah, sure. We've got a few. One of them is from our YouTube live. Have you created or edited any Wikipedia pages? If so, which ones? And better yet, what are some examples of the Wikipedia pages that you've created?
I'll show you those when I come to the end. It'll be in a couple of minutes. I'll show you the back end of Wikipedia pages. Yes, I've written lots of Wikipedia pages. But we start out with editing. Baby steps, right? Baby steps. So yes, I have. And I can talk about that in a minute. I'll go over them. Anything else?
So someone asked, how many pages have your classes made?
I don't know, lots, but I'll show you what the dashboards look like for all the courses where we've done training. You can, it's all online. I'll show you how to find it. They don't do that many because to write an entire new page is a lot of work. I'll be really honest, because every single thing you write has got to have a reliable reference. It's like a very high level of quality control. Yeah. But I'll show you the class
Has
pages.
anyone ever tried to edit your personal Wikipedia page, and how did you fix it?
Okay, so I do have a Wikipedia page, but I am not allowed to have anything to do with it. I did not write my Wikipedia page. You cannot do self-promotion. We call that something called COI. Does anybody, Wikipedia has very strict rules around COI. Dylan and Penny, do you know, can anyone tell us what COI stands for? You can just Google it.
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. You can't do anything with your own Wikipedia page. Loads of people, again, we'll look at the back end of Dawn's page. That's me. And you can see how many people have edited it. And you can also, like, one Wikipedia page is actually a cover for at least 4 Wikipedia pages. I'll show you what they look like. It's like, okay, you know when you go to a nice restaurant for dinner, you're sitting in the front part of the restaurant. Has anybody here worked in a restaurant kitchen? There's a lot of stuff going on in what we call the back of the house. You are sitting in the front of the house and you're in this calm, lovely place, enjoying your gourmet pizza. But there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the kitchen, right? So in Wikipedia pages, same thing. I'll show you the back kitchen of Wikipedia pages. Anyone can see them. Okay, and was there a last question or have we covered all of them?
That's it.
Okay, great. So moving on, you can actually see here, I actually created a formal
Whatever you-
project when I was in India, and I don't know whether we can see, I can't really see it. Oh my goodness. It was the Inspire campaign, and it was called Bringing Ada Lovelace Day Wikipedia Editathons to Indian University Campuses. And the pitch was that Ada Lovelace Day Editathons aim to address underrepresentation of women in STEM, science, tech, engineering, and math in Wikipedia, but are new to Canada, where I and colleagues now hold them. They were pretty new. They really started in England in around 2009, 2010. So we were like 4 or 5 years behind. And they're also very new in India. While on sabbatical here 7 years ago, I was invited to talk with members of the Women's Studies Department about my advocacy for Canadian women in STEM, and I'm presenting the idea of holding Ada Lovelace Day Wikipedia Editathons in India. You can actually see on the left that in the United States and France, 87% of internet users know, this is old data, so it's probably different now, know about Wikipedia, but in Global South country, in Japan, only 64%, but in Global South countries like Iraq, India is not considered Global South, but Nigeria, Brazil, the BRICS countries, it's much lower usage and awareness. So Wikipedia wanted to bring this reliable open access information so there was 2 things, low awareness and low usage. So this was part of that. We did that. I mentioned Donna Strickland. So here she is. She meets me at a Canadian science conference run by NSERC, which is the National Science Foundation. She had read the Washington Post editorial and she came to me. She said, I don't like what people are writing on my Wikipedia page about my children. Could you edit it? So that speaks to the question of how do you fix it? She found me because I was an editor and she asked me to do some things. Okay. Moving to 5 years ago, this is an example of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, the Gerstein Library at the University of Toronto held a Wikipedia editathon, and they actually asked me to speak about the history of women in science in Canada, which was super cool because I've done a lot of that. My colleague and friend John and I got invited to a Wikipedia summit run by the Wikipedia Foundation with the glam people. So we were hanging out with these art curators and like museum people, super artistic, not sciencey at all, talking about languages, indigenous languages, talking about like Michelangelo was so cool. We were so excited to be part of that. We were like, oh, we've really arrived. Us poor little nerdy scientists who do Wikipedia pages for women biologists.
You're muted. Sorry, you're muted.
Sorry. I was just going to say we had arrived by 2019. We were so excited. We thought we were part of the cool kids. That was very funny. And you can see some of these events. The guy in the blue shirt on the left is my colleague, John Dupuy. Top right, I'm with the organizers of the Gerstein Science Library Editathon. A lot of librarians in the room. And then down below, you can see the young woman with the black t-shirt that says Wikipedia. Her name is Hannah. She's now doing a PhD. She started out as a biology undergraduate at like our first Wikipedia editathon. And she became quite famous for editing ice hockey pages and Toronto Star. She was featured in the newspaper. She's quite well known. This one, the Ontario Science Centre's Wikipedia editathon, was the last live editathon in around February 2020 before COVID pandemic lockdowns. And it was organized by Alex on the right, who's a science librarian at York, and Alex on the left. He was the Wikipedian in residence at the University of Toronto. Okay. And you can see down below that when you do a time-stamped editing, you see 27 pages were edited, 21 editors, 86 edits, 20 references added. It was sort of fun. You can get the data. We moved to virtual editathons because it was something you could do online with Zoom. So this was the landing page for 2021. Ada Lovelace Day Editathon at York. And you can see this is the back end. I'll show you more of these. So you can see here that these are the pages that were edited. Gillian Wu was the first woman to be a science dean at York, and 1,354 words and 4 references were added. Connie Eves, not sure who that is, but these are all women in STEM. She had 13 references added. So a lot of time you're actually adding references which require you to add some text. Sapna Sharma was a new page. She's a colleague of mine. I did not work on her page because she's a friend of mine. Conflict of interest. Can't do that, right? So somebody else who doesn't even know her did that one. Another way that we can all get in on the Wikipedia fun is to put in our photographs to Wikimedia, which is where the images are. And I usually do that as a first step because that's very easy and you make metadata to describe the image. Okay, so it's very easy to get in. Let me show you what you were asking about. And in the meantime, Devon and Penny, do you have any questions?
I'm not sure if you mentioned this before. What year was the first class that you had indoctrinated into like Wikipedia pages and all that?
Good, 2014. So we actually started talking about it in 2013 and we were like, oh, this is so cool. Let's do that. Took us an entire year to figure out how to have an assignment. And then the first Wikipedia editathon for anybody, Ada Lovelace Day, was like 2015 or 2016. It took a long time. We had to learn how to do this thing, right? We had to learn how to do it. Okay. let's just go. You can find, I'll put the link in here. I have actually blogged a lot about it. So this is Wikipedia Editathon Chronicles, where it says, it opens up. Here's one for the teachers in the room. When Wikipedia first launched in 2001, students quickly discovered its articles and started citing them in their written work. In the early 2000s, when I began to use Turnitin to analyze student essays and lab reports for plagiarism, I would often find entire paragraphs lifted from Wikipedia. You can't, okay, right. Plagiarism aside, most professors, including me, banned Wikipedia from being cited in reference lists. This is because it is a tertiary or third level source of information, and both the primary and secondary sources that Wikipedia articles should be used should be cited. There's very rare occasions when you can cite a Wikipedia article. Okay. This doesn't mean I avoid reading Wikipedia pages. On the contrary, they are often the first thing I read to give me a quick overview of a topic. Many experts contribute to Wikipedia, and I found that pages for those science topics where I have expertise are very well fact-checked. And actually, it's something pretty much throughout the system. Okay, here we go. From the Wikipedia assignments that students do, I found that students improve their technical understanding of the difference between primary, secondary, tertiary, that's first, second, third level information sources. In fact, learning to be a Wikipedian teaches students why they can't cite Wikipedia. So it's one of the things I was doing, and I'll put that link in the chat. Or do you want to find that page and put the link in the answer so people can see? I've written a lot on Wikipedia editing, so people can find it. So if you can do that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to show you the back end. Who's ready to see the dirty secrets of Wikipedia? The hidden picture of Wikipedia. Let's go. Let me just make sure. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have the right links. Right, here we are. Right, let's start off with Dawn Bazely. Okay, so you can watch me in real time. This is always fun. Okay, I think this is good. I think this is where I need to be. Here we are. Oh, we don't want that. Here we are. Okay, can I just say I hate my Wikipedia photo and I want somebody to change it. So let's go to my Wikipedia page. I hate that. I hate that. I gave it, I put it out there as a public image that could be used. You can't use any photograph of me on the internet because mostly the copyright is held by somebody else. They are not usable. Okay, right. So here we are. Now, this is a page about me, right? I did not write this page. Can everybody see it says article, then it says talk, then it says read, then it says edit, then it says view history, then it says tools. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to log in to Wikipedia. I have to enter my password. Hang on a minute. Okay, okay, here we are. I'm actually logged in as Dawn Bazely. This is my Wikipedia page that any of you can find. Everything is very public. This is the kitchen. This is the back kitchen behind the front restaurant of the landing page of my page. And you can see here, these are all the people that have edited that page. Let's see. So the person that created the page in 2018 was using the username Souls in Sync. Created the page. Then we get citation bot. Souls in Sync is editing the page. Atlantic 306, don't know who these people are. Vic L 1994. They're adding me to categories. William Denton, he actually went in and fixed something because, oh, he corrected my birth date. I think I was at a Wikipedia editathon. I said, Bill, they put the wrong birthday. He goes, oh, yeah, I'll just do it. Okay. So you can see at the back end that just on this page alone, about 10 people have edited that page, right? And you can see every single version. This is what it looks like. There are some photographs that were there. If we wanted to edit it, you would just click edit, and they've made it very easy to edit these days. It used to be quite horrible. I'll show you what it used to look like. Source editing. Cover your eyes, everybody. This is going to hurt your eyes. That is what editing Wikipedia used to look like. It's a melange or mixture of a whole bunch of code. I actually thought it was a great way to teach people about an introduction to computer coding. And my students hated me. They hated me. Go back to the visual editor, much easier. Okay, so the talk page is where there are people discussing whether I'm important or not. And this is where you can have a conversation. So that's what a Wikipedia page looks like. Let's go up here, Dawn Bazely, my username. And it says, this user is an instructor for the course, Yale University, Canada's response to global environmental wicked problems. This user was a participant in the editing, the Scholar program. So this describes everything. And then I explain my early Wikipedia username, Carrie's mom. Carrie is now 27. I started using that when Carrie was about 27 for stuff online like Reddit, whatever. There we are. We can actually go to Dawn Bazely, and this is kind of an interesting thing that you can do. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to go to the main page. Okay, right. So Wikipedia has a whole bunch of rules and regulations, and I'll show you two of them called notability. Not every professor is notable enough to have a Wikipedia page. Let's look at what links here. You can actually look at the other Wikipedia pages that link to Dawn Bazely. So there's a lot of pages that link here. You've got York University, list of York University people, Sanford Fleming Medal, Massey College, Judith Myers, Trillium Grandiflorum, list of people associated with Somerville College, Oxford. So there's a lot of pages that mention my Wikipedia page. Let's go to the biodiversity page, shall we? Okay, this is the provincial flower of Ontario. And it is North American. It's beautiful. You all probably know what trillium looks like. It's one of my favorite flowers in the world. Okay. If I say find Bazely on the page, you can actually see that there is a reference to a Science Journal article that I wrote that is cited in the references. It's actually number 40. So this is considered, this page, a good article. It's not a start article. It's not a C-class. It's a good article. It means it's very solid and filled out. And if we go down to reference number 40, this is pretty sciencey, eh, folks? It says that Trillium grandiflorum are eaten by deer, and this information can be used to assess deer density, population size, and it's citing articles, right? Including mine. So this is giving a primary source in a journal very good information. I'm keeping an eye on time, guys. So that is really what it looks like. Let me just go to show you what the course dashboard looks like. So this describes the course, and people are learning to edit it. There are 14 student editors. They've already edited 91 articles. They've added 42. They have the whole term to do this. I think I'm missing 3 editors. I don't know where they are. And they're also doing, they've learned editing guidelines. Bit slow, and they've done training. There you go. A guide for student editors. There's a ton of resources out there that train people. I'll just go to the interactive training. There's a lot of fun modules. They're called student training modules. Anybody can go to them. Anybody can do them. They're anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Let's talk about notability. So on Wikipedia, notability is a test by all the editors collectively. And obviously, the more you're involved, the more senior you get up the ladder, the more experienced you are. It says information on Wikipedia. Not every topic needs an article. Information on Wikipedia must be verifiable. If no reliable independent sources can be found, then it should not have a separate article. People, how do we know whether people should have there's a huge amount of information on what is notable and what is not notable. Why we have these requirements. Significant coverage. We require that all articles rely on third-party or independent sources. There's a lot of rules and regulations. I'm just going to go in and show you one last thing, and we can take some questions. It was going to be notability of academics. Let me see what's going on here. No. Okay. Can't find it. Wikipedia. Of course, I'm just Googling. Here we are. Academics notability. You actually, it says many academics have been faculty members. That alone is not enough. Here are the 8 criteria. You have to check the box of one of these 8 criteria. So I actually check multiple boxes for why I have a Wikipedia pages, and other biology professors who know me do not have a Wikipedia page. It would not pass the test, okay? So how many pages have I written? I'm going to, I've done a lot, too many, but I'm going to show you my most recent page. So a lot of you, if you're here with an interest in biodiversity, you may have a Peterson's Field Guide to identify birds. Well, Virginia Marie Peterson was the wife of Roger Torrey Peterson. She did a huge amount of work, but she did not have a Wikipedia page. So if we look at the history of the page, it was from me wearing my Festuca rubra hat. So I have more than one Wikipedia persona because I kept making pages. And then somebody deleted it, and then somebody said she wasn't, they didn't think she was important enough. So if you go to the talk page, you can see that I had a discussion with the other Wikipedia editor, and it says making the case for notability when a woman works with a much more famous male partner. So then they agreed, and the page went back up, and it was all good. So I'm going to leave it there because there's a couple more, and we're running out of time anyway. But what are my last two questions? I hope that was helpful for people.
So, one of the questions is, do Wikimedia photos need some sort of verification for accuracy?
No, they just need to be, you just have to say that you have to have taken them. So they have to be from your camera and you have to own the copyright. So I'll just quickly go to the Wikimedia Foundation. I've put in a lot of photographs when I'm traveling. Hang on a minute. Sorry, just Wikimedia, not the foundation. Sorry. It's called Wikimedia Commons. I'm just going to quickly log in. Sorry, guys. I'm not logged. Oh, yes, I am logged in now. Okay, let me just quickly show you the kind of things I have uploaded. This is Dawn Bazely. Let's see what my contributions are. I have put up things, I'll show you. Lime grass basket. I uploaded this photograph. So this is from the Canadian Arctic and island in Hudson Bay, and it's woven and it's got this amazing bird carving on top. Let's see. So here's another picture. These are my images, and you have to make metadata. So you have to describe it, describe the year, and then you have to give it over Creative Commons. Anyone can use it. Anyone can use it. So what else do we have? Oh, I did the Wikipedia page for vice president at Ryerson, currently Toronto Metropolitan, Denise O'Neill Green. We can go to her page. So that I was at a conference with her and I took a picture. So if we go into Wikipedia, she should have Wikipedia. Here she is on Wikipedia. Right, so I did the page. So if you view the history of the page, I did it in 2020. Dawn Bazely and a whole bunch of people have edited it. So there's the article. Yeah. She's from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. And lovely woman. Yep. So you can put anything up. You just have to have good metadata and own the image. My favorite is I put up a picture of a Kia, which is a New Zealand alpine parrot. I love that one. Was there another question? Because we have to wind up, I know. Can I just go to Q&A? What's the number one rule, Izzy, when editing Wikipedia?
What's the number one rule when editing a Wikipedia page?
It's to find reliable third-party references. Everything has to be referenced and has to be verified. I hope everyone had fun with that and that you will now look behind the front page of Wikipedia because every page has got, did you learn something, Penny and Devin?
Yeah, I never thought about Wikipedia in that way. And this was very educational. Thank you so much for coming on the webinar and talking to us about it.
Thank you, everybody who was here, and I hope everyone has learned something. And read Wikipedia, edit Wikipedia, put pictures into Wikipedia, and you will understand what metadata and open access means and where information and facts come from. You can't just make stuff up, and Wikipedia will eventually correct it.
All
Take
right,
care.
thank you everybody for joining. Thank everybody for the questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Great questions. Thank you. Can I stay on just to chat to Debbie, or do I have to get off?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. We're gonna go in the other room.
Debbie, are you there? I think you guys are busy. I'm gonna leave. We'll catch up later. Bye.